Hello, my dark minions. Welcome to Lady of Darkness Horror Podcast. I'm so glad to see that you've decided to spend some of your day with me on this special day, known as Mother's Day in your universe. This evening, we have 2 stories of horror, both from the Creepypasta Wiki. The first tale, be warned though, my dark minions. This tale is certainly not safe to listen to if you're at work, or if your younger minion offspring are around. Also be warned to my much more mature audience that this story has dark, disturbing themes that may be triggering to some. So feel free to have a look around at my other stories if you feel this one may be too much for you. I will also leave timestamps below in the description box so you can just skip ahead to the next story. So without any more delays, let's dive right into the first tale, shall we? Come, my dark minions. Come a little closer, and we will begin. It was such a chilly notion for a girl of 12 years old to have, but it had always been obvious to me. My mama hated me. She loathed me. She wished for my demise, as I wished for hers. She never treated me like a daughter. She refused to buy me pretty clothes that all my friends had. She refused to let me help her cook. She didn't even let me stay home alone. What she said to me daily was, "Go play outside. Don't come home. I never want to see you home." At night, she always forced me to eat more than I wanted. Poultry, pork, cheese. She chose foods that would make me fat and forced them down my throat. Then she stayed around to make sure I didn't puke it up later. She made me feel fat and ugly. I'd never be pretty to anyone. I had soft, black hair, but Mama never let me grow it long. When I grew breasts and curves, she stopped cutting it short and just shaved my whole head, bald. She did it because she was jealous, because my hair was nicer, because I was the prettier one in the family. I could tell she was jealous of me. I could see my father only giving me attention and not her. My wretched, devilish mama never let me do anything fun. No singing, dancing, or anything that makes me feel pretty and good. She dressed me with the worst, most boyish clothes she could find, and then paraded me around the neighborhood. I got looks of pity from everyone, and the only thing I could do is bow my head in embarrassment. I looked at my bald head and my smelly clothes and decided I had enough. The next time she told me what to do, I wasn't going to do it. Mama came into my room and told me to go play outside. I didn't move. She came towards me and started to yell. I gripped the knife I had hidden under my blanket and stabbed it right into her heart. She fell down onto her knees and said, "I'm sorry. I love you." Her eyes went blank, and she slumped forwards. Her blonde hair mixed with the blood made me feel free. I could finally live the way I wanted to. I took a portion of the long platinum blonde hair and held it to my head, imagining what it would be like to have long hair. The thought of it made me smile. Then my father walked in. My father understood why I did it. He even helped me bury the body. He let me become the woman I could have been so long ago. I was sleeping when I learned the truth about Mama. It was when my father came into my room and lay next to me. His hands started to travel under my clothes, and I could feel his hot breath on my neck. He wasn't wearing any clothes, and I can feel his thing poking in between my legs. "I've always known you're such a pretty girl," he said. "Good thing your mama isn't around to protect you anymore." And now, on to our second tale, by Shiny Gamey Eyes, from the Creepypasta Wiki. For as long as I remember, I wanted to be a parent. It didn't take long to find out that I was born a barren woman. I couldn't bear children, no matter how much I wished, but I wanted a child so badly. I would see mothers and fathers playing with their children in the park, and sometimes it got to be too much for me. I had to leave. I'd make my way home and sob into my pillow. My current fiance didn't care for children much. He was actually rather happy that I couldn't have one. It was less work for him to worry about. It was one less mouth to feed. It was more time with the love of his life, since he didn't have some bawling brat to get in the way. I kept quiet about this and would just find comfort in his warmth and attempts to soothe me. Oh, but I watched this woman. This woman's belly was swollen with the promise of a child. This woman was so proud. She was all smiles. I found myself seething with envy. She had exactly what I wanted, and I hated her for it. For months on end, I would watch her walk by, grinning like a jackass. I wanted that baby. She looked like a vapid whore that couldn't possibly take care of it. I hated her so much, but as I often did, I held my tongue. I held my words. I knew what I had to do. I began to stalk her. I would conveniently bump into her in stores. We began to talk to her. I put on my best smile and did my best to befriend her quickly. It was just as I expected. She was certainly dumb and too readily trusting. "Oh, Carolyn, who is this new friend of yours?" my fiance asked me when I first got home after knowing Danielle for a while. "Oh, this is Danielle. Danielle, meet Matthew. We're going to get married in March." He reached out to shake her hand in greeting. I did my best to be kind, but sometimes it was very hard to keep my silence and divert my attention from how much I hated her. She loved all those things I couldn't stand. She loved those damned Twilight books, live-action Disney musicals, and worst of all, the current pop garbage, all of it. I forced smiles at all she said and gave my best laughs whenever she said anything that was a pitiful attempt at a joke. I held on as long as I could, and oh, it was so hard for me. After weeks upon weeks of this, I couldn't take it anymore. Matt was at work and Danielle came over for a visit. "Oh, I'm so tired." She was pretty late into her pregnancy by now. "Then please, sit down. By all means, rest. It'll be good for the baby." I went to the kitchen to make some tea. It was something like a daily ritual at this point. I'd make her tea and just let her relax on the couch, only to catch myself eyeing her bulging belly. I heard that annoying laugh. Oh God, that laugh. I had to end it there. I was so tired of that laugh, and I wanted the baby so badly. I thought it was ready. I hoped it was ready. Danielle fell asleep. I had waited for so long for this. I didn't want to wake her, but as I came close enough to draw the blade across her stomach, she woke. "Carrie!" Her wide blue eyes stared to me in horror as she saw the glint of a blade in my hand. She must have seen the look in my eyes. "Carrie! No!" I threw my hand over her mouth and sliced her stomach open without any second thought. Blood poured out and cascaded across her yellow blouse and down onto her jeans. She bled out onto the couch. Does black leather stain? I heard her labored breathing, only listening to her last futile attempts to breathe as they slowly dwindled down to a death rattle. I dug around until I found a little bundle of joy that awaited my open arms. I slung Danielle's body to the side of the room. It was a little boy. A precious little boy. I took him into my arms and rocked him back and forth. He didn't move, but soon, my heartbeat would awaken him. I laughed. Oh, I laughed and laughed. Why wouldn't he wake up? Surely he knew how happy his mommy was. I just stared to his tiny little face. He was covered in Danielle's blood. That stupid bitch got what she deserved. Just then, I heard the doorknob turn. "Oh my God!" Matthew spat as soon as he opened the door, turning his head to catch sight of Danielle's lifeless corpse. I turned to him, smiling widely. A rusty fluid was splattered all over my white sundress. "I'm so glad to see you, honey. Do you want to hold the baby?" Oh boy. Those two short tales were certainly dark. The first tale was definitely disturbing, but it appears that Mama knew best all along. And that second tale was one hell of a story. About one woman's evil act of desperation to fulfill her goal to motherhood. That one reminded me a lot of the case of Taylor Parker, to say the least. Thank you for joining me this evening, my dark minions. As usual, if you enjoyed both those tales, be sure to like this video and leave me a comment too, as this helps others discover my channel as well. And before I say goodbye for this evening, I want to thank you once more for the continuous support. Your support truly does mean a lot to me. And to all of the mothers and mothers-to-be, happy Mother's Day. And thank you once again for spending some of your special day with me. And now, it is time for me to go. Till next time, sweet dreams.